What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be talking about the SPY, the NASDAQ, the QQQs, and the futures, and break down what the charts are essentially telling us and what you should be watching for very, very soon. Now, before I break anything down, before I get into any more details in this very quick update, I do have to mention a couple of things before starting. Firstly, I'm not a financial planner. Make sure you take none of this as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire community as a whole. And the last thing is, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link down below in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, the link down below, and deposit $100 into the account, you're guaranteed 7 free stocks, each valued at up to $3,000. And the best part is, any could be a free Tesla share. It's a limited time offer. It ends in just 4 weeks. Check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. What are we seeing on the charts right now? What's actually going on? Let me just quickly close my EMAs. And you could see SPY is in a very critical level. We did try to break out of this wedge, and we are retesting it. And it does look like the market, in my opinion, is forming another divergence, right? So right here, you could see we actually made a new low right here relative to this low. But despite that, the RSI is actually at a higher low, right? The low right here during this time was 393.61. This low right here is 393.38. So we went lower as time went on, but the RSI made a higher low as time went on. That's telling me that the market is likely still forming these divergences. We might even try to get a small bounce tomorrow, continue to chop a bit. And I do believe we're either going to see the market try to bounce soon, or we're going to, drop a little more to this like 390, 388 level and then bounce. It's got to be one of those two most likely. And I don't know exactly which one it's going to be, but there's a good chance the market will get a bounce soon. So I'm going to break down exactly why. I also want to note that the VIX is forming another divergence. As you can see, the VIX is making a lower low, but the S&P 500 or the SPY is making a higher low. So that divergence is once again a bullish divergence, telling us the market might get a bounce soon. Maybe it's going to take another week or two. Maybe not like 2 weeks. I think that's too long. Maybe a couple of days. It's likely going to come very, very soon. So once again, I'm seeing the market either bouncing in a counter trend rally, because we've been red for like 7 days in a row now, or the market's going to come down a little more, maybe to 390 to 388, just down here, and then get another bounce and start pushing all the way back up to 400 as the days go on. That's what I'm seeing. It's very hard to tell exactly where the bottom is going to be, but I just want to note that. And by the way, let me just note this. If SPY breaks below 393, then watch 390 to 388. And it's likely going to try to bounce around there. All right. Or we could just try to bounce off 393. It's got to be one of those two most likely. And if we're bullish, watch some resistance around this 397 area. Then there's about 400. Then there's 401, 404, and etc. But once again, I think the market's either going to bounce or we're going to come a little bit lower for another day or two before we see the market essentially make a big move. For the triple Q, all right, similar trend. The triple Q, it actually came down to fill this gap. It might try to bounce off this key demand zone, try to push up, maybe fill this gap up here. We haven't actually done this soon. Or it might come a little lower, all the way down to like 288 and then get a bounce. Still, once again, retesting this wedge. Either way, I'm seeing a potential bounce also developing on the NASDAQ and the triple Q. On the VIX, I'm not sure if I'm seeing a divergence. Let me double check this. I'm looking at the hourly, I'm not seeing it. On the daily, the VIX has been downtrending a bit. We're getting close to a crossover on the MACD for it to turn a little bearish, maybe come all the way down to retest this wedge. It is a possibility. I also want to note that I think we might. No, I'm not really seeing a divergence though developing on. I'm not really seeing it. Let me double check this. Yeah, I'm not really seeing it. It actually is just continuing to downtrend a bit. So if we do get the crossover, it could continue to come down just a little more. Maybe it's back to the 19s. If that happens soon, this would likely be correlated with the market actually bouncing a bit, right? And the VIX is not causing this. It's more like the VIX is responding to what the market could do. The VIX tells me the market might drop a little more. So maybe it like bounces off like this 20 a little more. Then the VIX might continue to downtrend just a little bit for a couple of days, a week to a week and a half. And when that happens, the stock market might actually once again get a bit of a bounce. Now, for Meta, Similar trend, Meta likely will come all the way down to 172. Could come a little lower, but it might try to actually bounce and see a counter trend rally, getting all the way back up to this 177 area, maybe a little higher up until the 180s. That's also possible, but I am seeing the market in a bottoming process just temporarily. I know the bigger trend is still bearish, by the way, guys. I'm still very bearish in the markets. I'm just thinking that we might get a temporary bounce soon based off some of these developments. Same thing on Microsoft. I'm going to quickly just talk about Apple and kind of conclude this video. I want to make this one short. Apple hit 145. We're likely going to continue dropping and try to bounce off this 144 area, or we could bounce from here and then try to retest all the way up to about 150. It's got to be one of those two. We also have this gap up here in the 152 area. It could come down to fill that gap later. It may take a day or two, but eventually I am seeing a potential bottoming process play out and a potential bounce. The dollar index is starting to slow down on the daily. It's losing some momentum. We're about to get a crossover. It might continue to downtrend to the 104, maybe even 103s. If that happens, the market could get a bit of a bounce, right? A small bounce in the markets is very possible. Maybe not tomorrow. I don't know about tomorrow, but maybe by like Friday, maybe going into next week, because the market makers might try to prop the market up because of the options chain. Once again, I will go into more detail about that like tomorrow. And one of the last things I'm going to talk about is the 10-year treasury yield. Right now, it actually broke to the upside, breaking 40, but it did get rejected off 40. If it does hang out up here, even if it slows down a little bit, once again, it doesn't really change much. To me, yes, the market could get a counter trend rally, but it's likely not going to last forever. And I'm seeing that the market is likely going to continue to downtrend because of this yield. So what I'm trying to say is the bigger picture is bearish. We're bearish overall. I do see the market coming down as many weeks pass, especially going into CPI. But before the market like continues to tank, we might get a small counter trend rally first. We're seeing signs of it. A small counter trend rally before a bearish continuation is what I'm essentially seeing, and we're seeing lots of signs once again suggesting that. On top of that, I think I went over the main ones. We have Tesla, but there's not much to say about Tesla. Investor Day is actually about to start at the time I'm recording this. Where's my Tesla? Um, it'll just move based off that. If we're bullish, Tesla could try to get to this 215 area. If we're bearish, it could come all the way down, finish filling the gap at 196, come even lower than that. All right, so just be prepared for that. As for AMC, I told you all, buy the rumors, sell the news. That's a possibility for AMC. Do not be too fixated on her going to all-time highs. And now she's starting to downtrend. I'm going to be watching $6 on AMC. And then there's the gap fill all the way at about 5.3. That could also end up happening very soon. I don't think she's going to crash though, like to super low levels immediately. I think she's going to actually try to form a bottom and just slow down a little bit when it comes to the crashing. I do think she's going to drop more to like 6 and then 5.3, obviously, but I don't think she's going to crash all the way down to like $3 immediately. And that's because we're just less than 2 weeks away from the vote for the whole ape conversion thing that Adam Aaron was talking about. So that is going to be coming soon. So please be ready for that. Once again, I do think AMC is going to drop, just not crash extremely hard immediately. Uh, that's what I'm essentially seeing. So please remain calm, cool, and collected. And I'll most definitely see you guys in the next one. Thank you. The market to the moon because the long term future is still incredibly bright. And peace out.